It is possible to find different type of miracles in Quran. Also, it is possible to find historical miracles in Quran. If we look at the first verses of Surat ar-Rum, we can find astonishing prediction. I take a refuge in Allah from Satan. Alif Lam Mim. The Romans have been defeated in the lost land, but after their defeat, they will be victorious within 3 to 9 years. The affair is Allah's from beginning to end. On that day, the believers will rejoice. Surat ar-Rum 1-4. Byzantine Empire, later the eastern part of Roman Empire, was in war with Persian on that years, 613 years. In the end of that war, the Persians won that war and took the control on Jerusalem and Damascus. The Byzantine Empire has the heavy losses in the end of this war, and lots of people thought that it's not possible to survive with that heavy losses. And 9 years later, 3 to 9 years later, as we see on the verses, the second war between Byzantium and the Persians again. Lots of people thought that Byzantine Empire is going to delete it on the history page. But as we see on the verses, the Byzantine Empire won the war against Persians. If you look at the verses, the Romans have been defeated in the lost land, but after their defeat, they will be victorious within the 3 to 9 years. And the result is exactly like this. And on that day, the believers will rejoice. The Muslims, the believers, was supporting the Byzantine Empire because of believing the same God. But the Persians' religions was the pagan religions. This is why the believers are supporting the Byzantine Empire. This is the astonishing prediction, because as we see in the verses, this verses was revealed in 620 years. As we see in the verses, there is a miracle. This verse is telling about the victory for Byzantine Empire, but no one was thinking like this. Everyone expecting exactly victory from the Persians. On the other hand, there is a second miracle in these verses. For example, if you look at the verses again, we can see the Romans have been defeated in the lost land. Lost land. This war was in the near the Dead Sea. Dead Sea is between Syria, Israel, and Jordan. Dead Sea is the lowest land in the world. It is lower than the oceans, than the sea. This is the scientific fact which discovered in the end of 20th century. But at the time Quran revealed, it's 600 years, 700 years, the Quran expressed the lowest land in that verses. This is the other miracle in these verses again. Before we told about the perfect literal language in Quran. On the other hand, there is a mathematical miracle in Quran also. Some words had been repeated in meaningful times in Quran. Let me give some examples. For example, word 115 times repeated. Hereafter 115 times again. The opposite words. Satan 88 times. Angels 88 times. Faith 25 times. Infidelity 25 times again. Zakah 32 times. Blessing 32 times again. 7 heavens 7 times. The creation of the heavens 7 times again. Day 365 times, and days 30 times. Month 20 times. There are so meaningful repeats. Payment 117 times. Forgiveness 2 times more than payment. 234 times. Disaster 75 times. 75 times. Thanks 75 times again. the radius 6 times, the width 3 times. Radius is opposite of width, so 2 times more than width. Radius 6 times. Women 23 times, men 23 times again. Remember about the chromosome numbers, 23 and chromosomes for humankind. It's so meaningful. Sun 33 times, light 33 times again. And if we look at the length in Quran, if we count the length word, 13 times, sea 32 times, and totally 45 times. If we ratio of seas the earth, we are finding 71%. And if we ratio of land to the earth, we are finding 28%. It is the geographical miracle, and this is the geographical scientific fact in science.